I promised Luke I would only talk about the European team today. I'm going to stick to it. No, look, I think, again, it's so easy to play into narratives this week and to get swept up in this whole, rivalries and Ryder Cup and whatever it is. All I want to do is go and try and put blue points on the board. I don't care.
Rory McIlroy and Bryson DeChambeau just blew the lid off golf's so-called gentleman's game. And it happened live, unfiltered, messy, and watched by millions. What looked like another golf moment turned into a full-blown spectacle, years of ego, pride, and paychecks finally clashing in real time. But what the world saw, that was just the highlight reel. The real chaos ran much deeper. It all kicked off the way modern feuds always do, with betrayal dressed up as business. Rory McIlroy was the PGA Tour's golden boy, the man who said no to the Saudi money and stood tall for tradition. Meanwhile, Bryson DeChambeau went full mercenary, sprinting toward the LIV cash pile with that smug grin, like he just solved golf's version of the stock market. And just like that, golf's quiet order cracked wide open. Rory became the symbol of legacy, pure swing, pure values, the last real night of the game. Bryson turned himself into a one-man experiment, part scientist, part showman, chugging protein shakes and quoting data like a walking infomercial. Their rivalry exploded into legend at Pinehurst. Rory's heartbreak became Bryson's redemption, and that single bunker shot rewrote the narrative. That smirk from Bryson, that icy stare from Rory. It was pure cinematic tension. The crowd went silent, but social media? It erupted. Since that day, the gloves haven't just come off, they've been shredded. Rory started calling LIV players duplicitous, and Bryson fired back, mocking Rory's decade-long major drought like it was an inside joke. Now golf's polite claps have turned into digital brawls, Twitter threads, savage memes, and moral sermons flying everywhere. The fairway feud has officially gone nuclear. By 2025, golf wasn't just a sport anymore. It was a battlefield in polos and spikes. Every tee shot had political tension behind it. Every handshake felt like staged theater. Rory McIlroy and Bryson DeChambeau weren't just competing, they were waging a cold war for golf's soul, ready to scorch the fairways just to prove who owned the game. The 2025 Masters at Augusta was meant to be Rory's redemption story, a poetic comeback. Instead, it turned into a psychological thriller wearing a green jacket. Fate, or maybe karma, decided to pair them together. Golf's own grudge match, teeing off in a silence so thick you could slice it with a 9-iron. Rory stood there like a man possessed, eyes locked on the horizon, fueled by vengeance and pride. Bryson? He was swinging like he was trying to reprogram the laws of physics again, muscles flexed, brain overclocked, and ego fully charged. As the round rolled on, the tension got louder than the applause. Not a word exchanged. No laughs, no nice shot, nothing but the sound of drivers cracking and azaleas trembling. Rory started hot. Birdie after birdie, with that eagle drop sending the crowd roaring. Meanwhile, Bryson's science of golf collapsed in real time, experiments misfiring, numbers failing him. And when it was all over, Rory finally slipped on that long-awaited green jacket. The drought shattered, legacy restored. But Bryson couldn't just take the L quietly, not his style. In the press conference, he sighed and dropped the grenade. Rory didn't talk to me once. Boom. The internet caught fire instantly. Was Rory being ruthlessly focused, or was it cold-blooded revenge? Rory's clapback came sharp and icy. We're trying to win the Masters, not make friends. And just like that, chaos erupted. That round wasn't just golf. It was high drama, pure Shakespeare and spikes. Rory took home the trophy, but Bryson, he hijacked the headlines. The green jacket hadn't even cooled before this rivalry hit a brand new gear. Bryson DeChambeau didn't just lose, he reinvented himself overnight, trading his golf bag for a mic and launching his own Bro Science podcast. And boy, did he start swinging again, this time with words. He fired shots straight at Rory, claiming he's carrying a chip the size of Northern Ireland. Boom. Instantly, the internet turned into a digital war zone. Comment sections split right down the middle like a tee box at Pinehurst. Team Rory called Bryson delusional, while Team Bryson came for blood, calling Rory a snob who can't handle competition. And when Rory finally clapped back, he didn't do it on some podcast. He did it on the biggest stage possible, a press conference. Calm, cold, and ruthless, he dropped the mic with, "I don't know what he expected. We're competitors, not chums on a Sunday stroll." Translation? Bryson, take your feelings back to LIV. The room went silent, reporters frozen, jaws dropping. Rory had just turned golf diplomacy into verbal warfare. But that was only the beginning. The next few months turned into a season-long grudge match. At the PGA Championship, karma flipped the script. Rory's swing deserted him while Bryson's mad scientist game plan suddenly clicked. The tables turned fast. The so-called traditionalist was fumbling and the data-driven rebel was thriving. Reporters pounced on the drama like sharks in shallow water. Bryson wasted no time calling Rory's earlier remarks elitist, painting himself as the people's player. Rory shot back instantly, branding Bryson's ego as data-driven nonsense. Even golf legends couldn't stay quiet. Padraig Harrington stepped in, saying Bryson's whole approach felt like bizarre science fiction. And that's when golf officially left the fairway and entered pop culture. By midsummer, every round, every quote, every awkward glance became viral content. Golf suddenly had its own Kardashians, and they wore spikes instead of stilettos. The feud stopped being about LIV or the PGA, stopped being about trophies. It was now pure dominance, pride, and the obsession with being right. So when September 2025 rolled around and the Ryder Cup loomed, no one cared about Europe versus USA anymore. The real headline read loud and clear: McIlroy versus DeChambeau, round 2. And everyone knew it was about to explode. Both men showed up to the Ryder Cup with smirks sharper than their wedges, and the energy was electric. Rory McIlroy, fresh off a DP World Tour win, couldn't help himself from twisting the knife just a little deeper. When asked about Bryson, he fired off with that signature Irish cool, "If Bryson wants attention, he'll talk about me." Boom! The jab landed perfectly, but Bryson wasn't backing down. Broadcasting from his Texas fortress of protein shakes and podcasts, he shot back, "I'll let my drives do the talking." Spoiler alert, they didn't. Bethpage Black turned into a circus overnight. The fans were wild, especially the American crowd, who heckled Rory like he'd trespassed on sacred ground. One shouted, "LIV traitor," which was pure irony, considering Rory was the guy who refused the LIV millions. Bryson, of course, leaned into the drama like it was a PR masterclass, posting gym selfies with cryptic captions, while Rory just smirked through interviews, tossing subtle shade about ego chasers. The tension between them was so thick you could feel it through the TV screen. By the opening ceremony, the atmosphere was crackling.
How's he doing, do you know?
No idea. Didn't talk to me once all day.
Did you try and initiate conversation with Rory at all?
He wouldn't talk to me.
Pure static energy. When Rory and Bryson finally locked eyes across the fairway, the entire internet lost its mind. The viral stare down instantly became the clip of the tournament. No golf ball required. Rory's face screamed, "You're the past!" Bryson's grin screamed right back, "I'm the algorithm." Everyone watching knew exactly what was happening. This wasn't a golf rivalry anymore. It was empire versus rebellion, legacy versus influence, tradition versus chaos. Then came Saturday, the day decorum officially died. Rory and Bryson weren't even paired yet, but somehow they completely hijacked the entire broadcast. Rory's putter was pure poetry. Smooth, controlled, beautiful. Bryson's driver, straight demolition. Reckless power and noise. The Bethpage crowd went off the rails, booing Rory's every move like it was WWE instead of the Ryder Cup. And then, the moment that broke golf's composure forever. Frustrated, cornered, and fed up, Rory snapped and shouted, "Shut up!" into a hot mic heard around the world. The PGA still pretends it never happened, but fans caught it, raw, real, and unforgettable. The Ryder Cup didn't just deliver golf that weekend, it delivered chaos. While Rory was laser-focused on closing it out, Bryson was doing what he does best, putting on a show. In the middle of the chaos, he started barking back at hecklers near the ropes, shouting, "You want to go? Back off!" The clip went nuclear within minutes, ricocheting across X and racking up millions of views. Suddenly, golf, the sport of polite handshakes and whispered claps, was trending like it was a UFC brawl. The country club just turned into a coliseum. Through all the madness, Rory thrived. Cool under pressure, he birdied hole after hole, carrying Europe straight to the edge of victory. Meanwhile, Bryson, desperate to reclaim the spotlight, drained a monstrous 40-foot putt and exploded, screaming, fist-pumping, and flexing like a man possessed, all while facing straight toward Rory's green. Petty? Maybe. Effective? Absolutely. It was psychological warfare in khakis and spikes. When the dust finally settled, Europe sealed the deal, 15-13, with Rory's singles win locking it down. But the real headline came seconds later, the flag moment. Rory, grinning like a man who just exercised years of frustration, draped the European flag right over a Bryson DeChambeau sign and posed for the cameras. Petty? Nah. Poetic. When asked about it later, Rory simply smiled and said, "Bryson didn't respond. He didn't have to." That look on Bryson's face said it all. The feud wasn't finished, it had just gone global. Then came the twist no one saw coming. Golf's Cold War went digital. 2 nights after the Ryder Cup, Rory, slightly tipsy and glowing from victory, went live on Instagram to celebrate Europe's win. The vibe was chill, the comments were wholesome, until one viewer dropped the question that lit the fuse. What about Bryson? Rory smirked and couldn't resist the jab. "That flag stunt? Deserved," he said with a laugh. "Bryson's great at bombs, but he needs my name for clicks." The chat exploded. Fans flooded the comments. Memes popped up instantly, and chaos spread across timelines. Watching from his Texas base, Bryson saw it all.
Rory have had some pretty great matches on the course in majors. Yeah. There's also been plenty of viral quotes kind of about him talking about you and you occasionally talking about him. Does it feel like there's a rivalry there?
Well, look, I think rivalries are good for the game of golf, and albeit I have the ultimate respect for Rory as a player.
And of course, he couldn't stay quiet. He jumped into the live comments himself, typing, "Congrats, but that silence at Augusta still hurts." The chat went wild again. The feud had officially evolved, no longer just played on the greens, but streamed live for the world to watch. The internet didn't even have time to breathe before golf's biggest feud went full viral. Rory ended his live with a grin, thinking that was the end of it. But Bryson had other plans. Within hours, he fired up his own live stream from his Texas setup, gym equipment shining in the background, smirk locked in place. "Since we're talking flags," he said, pausing for effect, "maybe Rory should focus on finishing majors instead of decorating signs." Boom, instant explosion online. Comments, memes, and hashtags everywhere. Number Flaggate was born. Rory woke up to chaos. Every outlet was replaying Bryson's jab like it was breaking news. Fans were picking sides harder than ever. Team Rory flooded feeds with highlight clips, while Team Bryson spammed bench press memes and launch angle stats. By noon, ESPN was running split-screen coverage like it was a presidential debate. The tension only got hotter when Rory arrived at his next event in Dubai, pretending nothing was wrong. But everyone knew. Cameras followed every move, every grin, every swing. When reporters asked about Bryson's comments, Rory dropped another bomb cool as ever. "If I cared what he thought, I'd join LIV." The crowd gasped. Bryson fans fumed. Hours later, Bryson clapped back again online, claiming Rory was obsessed and calling him the PGA's drama queen. That's when it hit a new level. Even players started chiming in. Justin Thomas tweeted a popcorn emoji. Brooks Koepka wrote, "This is getting better than Netflix." And fans, they were eating it up like a scandal buffet. By the weekend, what started as a rivalry had turned into golf's version of celebrity warfare. Pressers turned into diss tracks, tournaments felt like talk shows, and the fairway had officially become Hollywood. The game had changed forever, and everyone knew it. This wasn't just golf anymore, it was entertainment on steroids. By November 2025, the rivalry wasn't just simmering, it was boiling. Every headline screamed Rory versus Bryson like it was Ali versus Frazier in polos. Even non-golf fans were tuning in just to see who would swing next. Not at the ball, but at each other. Sponsorships were picking sides, podcasts were dissecting every glare, and social media had officially crowned them golf's first viral soap opera. Then came the Netflix bombshell, a leaked teaser from Full Swing. Season 3. The trailer showed behind-the-scenes clips from the Ryder Cup. Bryson slamming a locker, Rory muttering, "He's not built for this game." Cue the internet meltdown. Within minutes, Lockergate was trending worldwide. Both camps went silent, and that silence was louder than any interview. When the episode dropped, fans watched like it was a finale. Cameras caught Bryson pacing, eyes burning, while Rory's voiceover calmly said, "Some people play golf. Others play characters." That single line detonated across sports media. Analysts couldn't decide if Rory was being profound or petty, probably both. Bryson snapped back on social media that same night, posting a slow-motion video of one of his 400-yard drives with the caption, "Still a character who hits further."
If I come up against Bryson at some point, that's great. I think that's wonderful for the championship and wonderful for us as well in some ways. But I just want to go out there and put blue points on the board and do what I can for the European team.
Boom! Millions of views in hours. The feud had officially crossed into pop culture territory. Late-night hosts were cracking jokes, TikTokers were doing dramatic reenactments, and even Snoop Dogg weighed in, calling it the bougie beef of the century. And just when it felt like it couldn't get wilder, a mysterious clip leaked. Audio of Rory and Bryson exchanging words during a private players' meeting. The soundbite, Rory saying, "You're turning golf into a circus." Bryson firing back, "Someone's got to fill the seats." That clip exploded like dynamite, pushing their feud beyond golf, beyond sports, into cultural legend. By the end of the year, golf wasn't just in the news, it was the news. The sport of quiet claps had transformed into the loudest drama on the planet. And through it all, one thing was crystal clear. This war wasn't about trophies anymore. It was about legacy, pride, and the fight to own the story. The internet exploded. Rory spotted it instantly during his live, that unmistakable username lighting up the chat. He smirked, leaned toward the camera and said, "Oh, he's here. Join if you're man enough, boom." One invite. And just like that, the whole world tuned in to witness golf's most polite rivalry turn into all-out live stream warfare. For 20 wild, unfiltered minutes, two grown men in polos threw down like it was pay-per-view. Rory went straight for the jugular, accusing Bryson of selling out and chasing cash instead of legacy. Bryson clapped back with venom, calling out PGA hypocrisy, mocking Rory's holier-than-thou attitude, and dropping that now infamous line, "You choke every time it matters." The comments went crazy. Rory fired back without hesitation. "Won the Masters! Who's choking now?" Bryson just grinned and said, "Fair." Respect that the tension broke for a split second. Two rivals acknowledging the chaos they'd built. It was drama, comedy, and pure catharsis all at once. Over 1 million people were watching live. Hashtags trending across 40 countries. Golf had officially gone viral. When the dust settled, both men claimed victory. Rory told Sky Sports later that night, "We cleared the air. Kind of." Meanwhile, Bryson posted a selfie captioned, "Respect the man, still want to beat him." Memes flooded timelines like wildfire, fans declaring it the greatest golf moment of the decade. And just like that, golf wasn't just trending, it was cinematic. The feud had turned into entertainment gold, and everyone wanted more. So what do you think? Was this just friendly fire, or the spark of golf's biggest rivalry ever? Drop your thoughts below. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share it around. See you on the next one, because trust me, the next chapter in this saga might be closer than anyone thinks.